Let's start in COL Financial. Market summary. The local equities market extended its rally on cooler than expected inflation in December. The PSI rose by 42.83 points or 0.64% to close at 6,761.33. The top gainers were GJS plus 4.21 from its previous close, URC 3.88%, Convergy 3.57%, MBT 2.83%, and P Gold or Pure Gold 2.43%. On the other hand, the top decliners were AGI negative 3.68% from its previous close, ACEN negative 2.99%, Welcon negative 2.45%, Glo negative 2.43%, and EMI negative 1.95%. Value turnover rose to 6.9 billion from 6.7 billion traded in the previous session. Net foreign buying likewise surged to 907.9 million from 333.7 million on Wednesday. Top story economy, inflation quickened to 8.1% in December. Based on data from PSA, headline inflation accelerated to 8.1 in December amid rising prices of food, particularly vegetables. During the holiday season, the figure was faster than 8% in November and 3.1 in December 2021, reaching a 14-year high. The latest headline inflation number came in lower than the 8.2% median estimate based on a survey from Bloomberg and fell within BSP 7.8 to 8.6% forecast range. This brought a full-year average inflation to 5.8%, faster than 3.9% in 2021 in matching the BSP forecast. Meanwhile, core inflation during the month accelerated to 6.9% from 6.5% in November, bringing a full-year average core inflation to 3.9%. PSE Chief Claire Dennis Maba noted that inflation slowed month-to-month with December inflation decelerating to 0.3% from 0.7% in November. Furthermore, the central bank expects inflation to peak in December before decelerating in the succeeding months. On the other hand, UBP or Union Bank of the Philippines finalized SRO offer price at 56.88 per share. UBP finalized the details of its coming 12 billion stock right offering. Shares of the bank will be offered at a price of 56.88 per share, representing a discount of 37% from the previous day's closing price of 89.8 per share. The ex-right date is January 9, 2022. Shareholders of UBP as of ex-right date will be entitled to one right share for every 10.15 shares held. The bank will be offering up to 220 million common shares between January 16 to 27, and the offered shares will be listed on February 6. Other news, economy, U.S. private payroll growth surged ahead of estimates in December. The number of private payroll grew faster than expected in December. According to payroll processing firm ADP, private business created 235,000 jobs for the month, well ahead of those 153,000 estimates and 127,000 reported in November. The ADP also reported a 7.3% increase in annual pay across all sectors, led by 10.1%. The surprise came despite the Federal Reserve's attempt to cool the job market, a key driver of inflations. According to the minutes of the Fed's December meeting, central bank policymakers plan to keep raising rates and don't expect any reduction at least through 2023. The ADP report comes a day before the Labor Department's count, which expect non-farm jobs to grow by 200,000 and unemployment to stay steady at 3.7%. Another one, quick tech guide, a quick tech guide for the short term covering COL client most traded stocks last week, December 26 to December 30, 2020. For your reference, first on the list is CNVRG. Trading action, CNVRG is proceeding with its range rally, likely drawing up a recovery channel. Its band is presently seen between 12.40 and 17.80. However, next essential resistance is pegged between 16.70 and 17 pesos. Look to lighten into this rally, then range trade the recovery channel. Next, JFC, Jollibee Food Corporation. JFC finds itself testing the next major support at 227.50 pesos after breaking its uptrend line. If its 200-day EMA is broken, a further swing down to 224 may be next seen. A range trade can be seen if this support zone can hold. A break of the second would spell out danger for a wider corrections, looking next at 218 pesos. Next, RLC, Robinson's Land Incorporated. RLC is now retesting its 2022 lows, to which we hope can hold. A successful hang over this 14.50 zone may allow it to sway sideways in further hope of a possible base. If so, then a like rectangular pattern may develop and drive a range trade for the time being. Hold with a stop at its 14.50 support. Next, ACEN Corporations. ACEN rallied to its recent high and must break this resistance to proceed on with its advancing trend. Otherwise, a sideways pattern or corrective sway may surface to yank its back to support. Hold for now and wait to see if resistance can break. Lighten if resistance proves heavy. Next is Ali. Ali swung up for an end-of-the-year dash, but now needs to test the heaviness of its recent high, 31.70 pesos. If not close to it, a hold is given it so far and can hold over its recent base low, 29 to 28.90 pesos. If resistance hold, then look to take some profit as a new pattern may develop, if not more corrective actions. Last, BDO Unibank. BDO swung sideways after breaking its rally trend line. This wove it to a broadening-like formation which could paint a temporary top. Look to lighten down, preferably into rallies. Play a support stop at 200-day EMA, currently at 104.07 pesos. We hope its pattern can hold over this support to eventually stage up. The market blueprint, First Metro Securities, January 3, 2023. Let's start first, 2022 market recap. Last year, Higher inflation, hawkish global central banks, and the depreciations of the Philippine peso negatively affected the PSI performance, closing 2022 lower by 556.24 points to 6,566.39, negative 7.8% year to year, despite the surge in Omicron variant cases in January 2022. Market sentiment was mostly positive early in the year, owing to the decline in the COVID-19 positivity rate and the removal of facility-based quarantine for fully vaccinated and RT-PCR tested travelers arriving the country last February 2022. The PSI tracked the global market's drop in March 2022 as geopolitical risk escalated after Russia launched its attacks on Ukraine. This resulted in commodity prices such as oil, nickel, and wheat rising as the conflict in Europe disrupted the global supply chain. The global inflationary pressure caused by the Russia-Ukraine war, fueled further by pent-up demand amid continued economic reopening, prompted central banks to raise interest rates faster than consensus expectation. Furthermore, despite the majority win last May 2022, the local investors remain cautious post-election results as they awaited full clarity on the economic platform and cabinet lineup of President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. These headwinds resulted in the market trading to as low as 6,054.79 in June 2022. On a positive note, an oversold bounce rose to second quarter 2022 local corporate earnings as well as positive economic data. Manufacturing and OFW remittances fueled the market to rebound to 6,883.60 in August 2022. Come September 2022, the impact of Super Typhoon Carding and sharp depreciation of the Philippine peso against US dollar pulled the market lower to year-to-date low of 5,699.30. At the later part of the year, bargain hunters found reason to increase exposure in the market amid stronger than expected third quarter 2022 corporate earnings. Philippine peso recovery to 55.68 peso, and Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas statement that it will match the US Fed interest rates hike point by point. Next, market highlights. Last week, the PSI marginally inched higher by 0.38%, week of week to close at 6,566.39 plus 25.36 points from its previous close. The market saw thin trade volumes last week amid the shortened trading week and holiday festivities. The index managed to edge higher in the first two trading days amid window dressing activities to close flat on Thursday despite the broad sell-off in the US markets. Investors also digested Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas' headline inflation forecast of 7.8% to 8.6% for December 2022 due to higher electricity rates and elevated prices of agricultural goods. The index breadth was neutral with 15 gainers versus 15 losers. Average daily turnover value was 4.1 billion peso. Foreigners were net buyers by 39.8 million pesos. TEL plus 7.1% from its previous close share price outperformed as management was able to regain investors' confidence following a series of disclosures relating to their 48 billion peso budget offering. On the other hand, Monday negative 5.3% from its previous close share price pulled back due to heavy net foreign selling at 242 million peso. Macro update and market outlook. We expect the market to trade sideways in the opening week of 2023 as the investors are likely to remain cautious with ongoing fears of recessions and spread of COVID-19 cases outside of China. Investors will also be monitoring the development of ongoing Philippine airspace outage over the weekend, which left thousands of passengers affected amid peak travel season, and price hikes on oil products with gasoline set to increase by 2.9 peso per liter, diesel by 2.10 peso per liter, and kerosene by 3.05 peso per liter today, January 3, 2023. In addition, the results of key data points such as the PMI and the inflations will likely influence the tone of the first trading week of the year. The key data released this week are PH Manufacturing PMI for December 2022 on Tuesday. Next is US Manufacturing PMI for December 2022 on Tuesday, January 3, 2023. PH inflation for December 2022 on Wednesday, and US job report for December 2020 on Friday, January 6, 2023. What's brewing at First Metrosec, January 6, 2023. Equity summary and outlook. The PSI rose by 42.83 points or plus 0.64% yesterday, following stronger Asian peers and the US market overnight. Inflation coming is just slightly faster than expectation and cooler than expected. Likewise, lifted sentiment CPI for in December came in 8.1%, while core CPI rose 6.9% year to year. The PSI may correct today on weaker US market overnight and its approaches resistance level at previous high. All US average fell by more than 1% on strong jobs data, which give the Fed more leeway to raise rates. ADP employment change for December showed 235,000 jobs added, much higher than estimates of 150,000. Weekly jobless claims were also lower than expected, coming in at 204,000 versus estimates of 225,000. Investors also traded ahead of non-farm payrolls number for December due later, where estimates are for 202,000 jobs added. On the technicals, a 3-day winning streak brought the PSI near a psychological resistance at 6,800 and a previous high at 6,814. Oscillators are also close to overvote level with RSI hitting 65.